Hey, here we go. Ready to do this again with more spectacular conversations. And I'm glad you're here. Don't forget, tonight, 9 o'clock, Spaces on X with Dr. Peter McCullough. I'll join you there. It's going to be an exciting event talking about all sorts of things. Meanwhile, Larry Ward is with me. He's the chairman of the Constitutional Rights PAC. Larry, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Greatly appreciated. So, Ed Martin being blocked by the likes of Tom Tillis in North Carolina, but it seems to be gaining some momentum. To be U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. But Cornyn so far has not given support that I saw. Hawley predicting a vote. Well, where are we today? Read the tea leaves, sort the cards.
Well, Cornyn actually did come out. He would vote for Ed Martin. He's in a very tough primary with Ken Paxton, and I'm sure Ken Paxton would support Ed Martin, so he was kind of forced into it. Hopefully that starts tilting a little bit back into Ed's favor. Look, this is the most important confirmation we have left. And it was probably one of the most important confirmations for those of us who seek justice. It's one of the most important confirmations we had, period. Because we have a guy like in Ed Martin, who is an absolute, true, honest Christian patriot who will stand for justice and who will actually hold people accountable in DC. And on the opposite side, won't let the federal government and these crazy Democrats weaponize the system against conservatives. If Ed Martin was the U.S. attorney in D.C., there would not be this railroading of January 6ers. There would not be this railroading of conservatives and letting every Democrat off the hook.
Let me ask you this. Tom Tillis still pushing back. He's in a primary contest, too. I think his opponent's name is Don Brown, who's ready to take him down in North Carolina. People not, trust me, I got family in North Carolina. They are not Tom Tillis fans. They are not. They think that he's just a spongy, spineless weasel. I think those are the polite words they used. What do you think about Tom Tillis? Is he going to come over and support Martin? Because thus far he is not.
Or unless he doesn't care about his political career. He might be reading the tea leaves and this might be a vengeance play. Look, Tom Tillis saying that this is all about January 6th because Ed Martin supported and defended some January 6ers. Are you kidding me?
4.5 years ago?
I mean, not only 4.5 years ago, that Ed Martin had the gall to defend and help support some January 6ers that were being railroaded by the Biden administration. You're holding a grudge against him for giving people actual defense. It's ridiculous. There was an injustice with many of these grandmothers who were being hunted by the FBI for daring to come and protest at the Capitol and did nothing wrong and did nothing violent, and they were being locked up and their lives were being turned upside down just for sport, for liberal sport. Yeah. And Ed Martin had the gall to stand up to the machine on this, and that's why
Tom Tillis. Aren't all Americans allowed to have a vigorous defense? In fact, not only allowed, but it's almost mandatory. That's why we have court-appointed attorneys, right, Larry?
Not January 6ers, apparently. According to the deep state Republicans, not January 6ers, because they were scared that day. They were scared that the people came and tried to hold the election accountable.
Let me ask you about something else. Speaking of the election coming up next year, a lot of Senate seats up for grabs. 2 of them could have been taken by former governors. It's pretty clear. New Hampshire is pretty clear that Chris Sununu would have been able to walk away with a seat for the Republicans. And he's not radically conservative, and he's not a buddy of Donald Trump, but he is a Republican. Same thing with Governor Kemp in Georgia. And both said no. The Republicans currently have 53 seats in the United States Senate. They could also have a play in places like Michigan, where there's an open Senate seat this time around. It could have been dramatic change for the Republicans to secure the United States Senate for years to come. And these 2 Republican governors both said no. Why do you think that is?
Well, look, I think they both said no because they are not, quite frankly, they've been dealing with a lot of angst from their parties that, quite frankly, don't like the way they were behaving, as governor and especially behaving towards Trump. Look, I still think we can win those seats. Those seats are winnable. Those are not the only two guys that can win in those states. And I think that we have an opportunity to put some real true conservatives in those places. I still think that in 2 years that we could get close to. Here's the caveat: the economy's got to be good, right? It's always about the economy. It's always about how people are feeling and doing. And if the Trump tariff bet plays out the way that Donald Trump believes it will, and we have a booming economy, I think we walk away with the Senate. We get close to 58, 59, maybe even 60 seats. But it's got to if the
How
economy
would you
is
get to
good.
60? Where would you count votes to get to 60? I mean, you'd have to pick up Michigan, Minnesota.
We'd have to have that quote unquote red wave that nobody wants to speak about, right?
Right.
But I think that there's a possibility for that red wave because the Democrats have nobody. They have nothing. They have just anti-Trump. So if Trump's policies work, and here's my point, here's my caveat: if Trump policies work, and we're starting to come out of this, this little economic slowdown, and there's a boom in the next 2 years, the Democrats will have nothing to stand on, not a leg to stand on, and the Republicans should run away with it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Always appreciate talking to you, Larry. You bring good perspective. I think that Republicans could pick up a couple of seats. It'd be nice to pick up 3 or 4. That would be remarkable. And to get to 60 seats, wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? Larry Ward, Chairman, Constitutional Rights PAC. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Always appreciate talking to you. Still to come, Risa Ryan, founder of the Unretire Group. Unretire your workforce. Thrive by hiring retirees. Really? Why would that be? A veteran workforce, and veteran news anchors, and veteran everybody. I mean, I could hire some veterans around here. A lot available, right? I'll take a break and be back. It's the Steve Gruber Show.